Hi everyone and welcome to SWPL My Story, and today we are joined by Boroughmuir captain Louise Mason. How are you?
Hi, I'm great. Thanks, Mark. How are you?
Not too bad. Thanks so much for joining us at a training night for you.
It is indeed just finished, so just home. Thanks for having me on.
No, not at all. Thanks for taking the time. So we're after match day one in SWPL 2, an emphatic win, 7-1 over Ayr United. Must be pleased with that one.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I said it in my sort of post-match interview as well, that it's really important to get off to a good start in the first game of the season, and you just never know, regardless of who you're playing, you never kind of know how that's going to go. And I think we stuck to our game plan, and across the pitch we were excellent, and it was executed very well. So we're delighted.
Yeah, it's really important, especially first game. There's been a lot of turnover at Boroughmuir, which we'll come on to, but it sets that marker as well for the teams that are going to be vying for that championship title as well, for you to go out and get such a big win, get goals, get confidence as well. It's just everything that I'm sure Andy was looking for.
Yeah, it was. I think the league, you touched on it there, it's going to be really exciting. It's going to be competitive, and every game is going to be kind of a cup final for everyone, I think. So we were delighted to go off to the start that we did, and hopefully that can continue.
It's something we talked about all last season. Was probably It's probably fair to say how underrated SWPL2 is. But one thing that everyone knows is the competitiveness of it. Even looking back to last season, Gartcairn at 2 points at Christmas, and they were pushing up for mid-table. They were in championship winning form the second half of the season. You look at the results, yourselves and Hamilton, the big wins. Gartcairn getting a win, Ross Vale, who against Kelly, who done so well last season, getting a 4-1 victory. It just shows you there's absolutely no gimmies in this league.
No, definitely not. And I think, to be honest, coming from SWPL1 into SWPL2, it's probably something that you underestimate, and it's not till you're in there and you're feeling kind of the what's going on in the changing rooms and the way people are talking about the league and stuff, that it really hits you that it is every week's important and it's really competitive. So it's really exciting.
So you just in at Boroughmuir, Andy Enwood's the manager. You've been at Spartans before when you decided it was time to move on. I'm sure you would have had other offers, probably to stay in the division as well. What was it that made you pick Boroughmuir?
Yeah, I mean, I know Andy. I've worked with Andy before, back with Hearts when we played SWPL2 and won the league. So I know what he's about, and I know what he wants, I know what he's looking for, and we work well together. So when the opportunity came up to have a chat with him, and the decision had been made that I wasn't going to play at Spartans this coming season, we had a really, really good chat, and what he was offering and what he was looking to do and his ambition in the league was kind of what I was looking for. So yeah, it was kind of a no-brainer from there after speaking to him.
I think that's testament to the coaching staff as well, that there has been so many new players brought in, and it's sometimes hard to gel and it does take time. But based on, I know it's only one match, but based on the performance more than anything, that it seems to like you've hit the ground running.
Yeah, we have. We had a really, really good pre-season, and I think it's sort of credit to the club as well, and the direction that they're looking to move in, and the ambition that they've got, and they're really willing to throw everything they have at a successful season, and we'll see where that takes us. But yeah, I mean, the coaching staff are excellent. I think it's quite obvious that they've got a way of playing, and they've got an idea in their head about how they want the season to go and how they want the team to play. And every single one of us that are in the team are buying into that. And I think that was shown and demonstrated on Sunday, just in the way that we played. So hopefully that can continue.
So obviously you've been at Spartans for such a long time. Previously, and you've just came into Boroughmuir, but Andy's obviously someone that you've worked with before, and he's had that conversation with you about the captaincy. Maybe something that was a bit by surprise for yourself, but something that you've taken on clearly, and you're looking forward to hopefully leading this team up the league.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the club had an excellent captain in last season, and Iris, and she's a great player for the team. Unfortunately, for kind of personal reasons, she's not staying on this season. and had she been, she would have continued to lead the team. So when Iris made that decision to step down, Andy gave me a call and asked me if I would take up the role, and it's been a pleasure so far, and I'm really looking forward to moving the team forward.
But we can't have you on. Obviously, we're here to talk about Boroughmuir, but we can't ignore the fact of your dedication and your commitment to Spartans, over 250 appearances for them. Was that a difficult decision when the time came to move on from there and seek a new challenge?
Yeah, to be honest, initially the decision was kind of taken out of my hands. The club had a new manager come in, and he had an idea and how he wanted his team to look, and he didn't kind of see me fitting in there at that time. And looking back now, it was probably the push that I needed. I'd been at the club for a very long time, and I loved the club, and I had a great time there. But it was definitely time for me to kind of get a new challenge, and I think looking back, I probably needed that shove, and it's done me the world of good. So I'm happy now where I'm at, and it's all worked out for the best.
So someone that you mentioned there, Iris Ramage, who previous captain, we had her on last season, and something that we spoke about with her was Boroughmuir as a club, and it's quite unique, and similar to Glasgow City. And I talk about Boroughmuir as almost like a sleeping giant as a club, because it is absolutely massive. There's so many girls that play there, and it is a girls standalone club. There isn't it's not supplemented by a men's section. There aren't the boys teams affiliated to Boroughmuir Thistle. So coming in from a different club, and this is fresh to you, is that something that you feel slightly different, that it is totally focused on the female led sides?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's really important. For clubs that have, it's easy, I suppose, when you've got the backing of big clubs that have got lots of money in the men's game, and but it's a completely different story for a team like Boroughmuir, who are trying to push on and trying to push boundaries when they don't have that backing. And for me, it's kind of refreshing that it's just an all girls club, and all the focus is on developing women's football. And I think there should be more clubs like that, to be honest.
No, absolutely, and it's, as I say, that is unique. But you look at the blueprint that's been set out by Glasgow City and the success that they've had, and there's no reason, particularly geographically, where Boroughmuir is. And you've got Spartans, Hearts, and Hibs who are up at top end of women's football, but they have the support of their men's teams. But then if you look at Glasgow City, they're surrounded by Rangers, Celtic, Partick Thistle, probably even more clubs that are up that higher end if you come a little bit further out into Lanarkshire with Motherwell and Hamilton and things. So Boroughmuir are very well placed to be that, if you want to call it that, the Glasgow City of the East.
Yeah, they are in a great place, and they've got great people, and they've got great backing, all the way from the bottom to the top, and everybody's got the same aim, and everybody wants the club to do well, and everyone wants the club to progress. And I think it's been about kind of pushing the boundaries and getting to that next level. Boroughmuir have been in kind of the same place for quite a long time, and you can really see this season that they're committed to pushing on, and hopefully they can do that. And I suppose we need to do that on the pitch first and foremost, and then we see where it takes us.
Yeah, for the last few seasons, Boroughmuir are always kind of floating around there or thereabouts. And I even think it was maybe no last season before, they were sitting second with a couple of games to go, when obviously the playoff was an option. It just kind of fell away. But the experience of yourselves, Becky Galbraith coming in, players with vast experience at the level above, will hopefully be enough to push them that little bit further.
Yeah, they've definitely got the foundations, and they've got some excellent talent in the team that was there last season, And I think when I spoke to Andy, that was the one thing he said. It was just a couple of players just to help push them over the line, and players that have, played SWPL1 and know what it kind of takes to be there and to be able to compete in there. And with the signings, Ria, Becky, Kaylin as well, huge experience in Kaylin, and you can already see the difference that she's making to the team as well. So just a couple of extra players just to push the sort of younger girls on, who have abundance of talent. It's just that little extra bit just to get over the line, and hopefully we can do that this season.
So we're coming into another big weekend. Every weekend's going to be a big weekend, but you'll take a lot of confidence from match day one and into this one as well. And it's going to just create that desire as well, because there's maybe players that were on the bench or maybe not even in the squad. They need to
Mhm.
work harder in training to break into
Yeah.
it, because it's going to be hard to change after a 7-1 win, but it's up to them to then take their opportunity. So that's just going to drive the standards of everybody and put you in a very good place going into this weekend.
Yeah, training's been excellent this week so far. We've got another session tomorrow, so we can kind of fine tune a couple of things. But training's been really good, and the environment's great. Obviously, it's very easy to say that when you come off of such a good win. But you know, the girls are all excellent, and as I said at the beginning, they're all buying into how we want to kind of move forward and what we want to do. Whether they're played on Sunday or they didn't, and you know, the league's going to be competitive, but the training environment as well. And I think that's something that maybe I underestimated as well going in to Boroughmuir. But the training environment's very competitive, and everyone wants to win and everyone wants to play. So that's pushing me as well.
No, absolutely, and it's such a long season, and because SWPL2's got the smaller number of teams in it, and you do repetitively play against the same teams, it's going to take a
Mhm.
squad to win it. Any team that's won SWPL2, as you mentioned, but you were there at Hearts and done it. You do need a squad. It's you get caught out further down the line if you've only really got a starting 11, and then players that are not to make up the numbers, but they're there, and it's not like a like for like replacement. But with the recruitment that I've seen through the Boroughmuir socials, it does look like that. It is like for like
Mhm.
changes, and they're all going to have to play their part at some point.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a really long season, especially when, like I said earlier, every game's a cup final. You know, it's mentally tiring, it's physically exhausting, and it's a long season ahead. And there is going to be changes. There's probably going to be niggles. There's going to be various reasons why people are kind of struggling. And I think the players that didn't start on Sunday and the other players in the squad will slot in very nicely. But yeah, I mean, especially when you've got girls in your team ages with me, I'm not getting any younger, so it's going to be a long season.
No, so I know the feeling. Right, well, Louise, thanks so much for taking the time to join us tonight, and I wish you all the very best for the rest of the season.
Thanks very much. Thanks for having me.
And thanks everyone for joining us on SWPL My Story.